Hello everyone, Jay Todd coming to you from the Global Gaming Expo. I'm here with Mr. Chris Cylke, who's the Senior Vice President of Government Relations. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wow, I'm getting it now within my mind. I've actually memorized it. It was hard. I was worried I wasn't going to.
Twister for sure.
It was. But regardless, you're here and we're talking about sports betting expansion here in America, but not just the sports betting expansion. If you've watched an NFL game or a pregame show or a postgame show or a halftime report or a midweek anything, you've seen ad after ad after ad for either fantasy sports or a sports betting app. And my concern is what we saw in the United Kingdom was this same growth and this advertising blitz. And unfortunately, not everyone likes gambling, and some people actually want our industry to be completely shut down. And I'm worried this kind of might be like handing them the ammunition to shoot us with. And I was curious what the AGA thinks about this.
Yeah, well, look, sports betting is still pretty much a nascent industry in the United States. It wasn't too long ago, 2018, that we had only one state that had legal regulated sports betting. So it's been a whirlwind over the past 4 years, opening up new markets. And advertising is really an important tool to reach customers, both new customers, but also those who have been involved with betting through illegal channels. And so we think that advertising is an important part of solving the illegal market equation as well. But I think we're also aware that, to your point, there are some who are seeing sports betting advertising for the first time, and they may not like it. They may not be interested in the product category. And so at AGA, I think we've really tried to be proactive in getting this right. We established back in 2019 a code for responsible marketing for sports betting, which involves some tenets that all of our members agree to, including not targeting underage populations, making sure that all the advertising is done to the appropriate audiences. We have a mechanism for those for people who may find some of the advertising misleading or unsavory to file a complaint, and we have a review process that involves a board that reviews all of these independently, and we'll go back to the operator to work through that process. We also have a proactive responsible gaming campaign called Have a Game Plan, Bet Responsibly. That's not just the industry that's involved in that, that's also others in the ecosystem, including leagues, sports teams, media companies, and payment processors and others. So I think there's a growing awareness that it's a responsibility of the whole entire ecosystem to market this product responsibly. There's always going to be some kind of seasonal fluctuations in terms of advertising. We're at the beginning of the NFL season right now, so advertising has started to pick back up. But we've really seen year over year, it's been flat from where it was last year, and we expect will taper off after the Super Bowl, pick back up after March Madness, and then people will see much fewer ads in some of the less busy sports calendar seasons. It's also important to note that sports betting advertising is only 1% of all advertising that's out there. So while it may seem like there's a lot of it going on, we're not doing it any more than beer or men's self-help medication or any of the other things that may trigger some of the populations. But I will say overall, this is an issue that the industry wants to get out ahead of, make sure that we continue to have opportunities to get into new markets. We see restrictions on advertising as being self-defeating in terms of the shared goals of bringing people into a safe sports betting ecosystem where states are going to derive tax revenues from that. So whistle-to-whistle bans, things like that, we don't want to see them, and we're working hard to make sure they don't happen.
And that's really my purpose for doing this, is not to necessarily pick on operators. It's to keep us from getting into a position of what happened in the UK happening here, where there was this huge groundswell of people accusing operators of being irresponsible, of targeting children, of targeting gambling addicts. So there is this balancing act between marketing and responsible gaming. Right now, operators, of course, within a new market want to capture as much market share as possible. And one operator may say, well, if we back off, then our competitor is going to continue and we are the ones that lose. So there is this balance between market share and responsible gaming, yes?
No doubt, and I think everyone recognizes that again, this is a new product category. People are aggressively competing for new customers, but there's going to be some rationalization to this market in the future. And along with the seasonality, we expect these advertising levels will taper off. And it's important, as I said, some of the measures that we're putting in place to try to make sure that there's no regulatory backlash while that continues to develop, I think is important, and avoid some of the situations that you cited over the pond where there has been a swift backlash on due to large volumes of advertising and what some may deem as irresponsible behavior.
Yes, and to close, affiliates are part of this as well, because there have been cases in the United Kingdom where an affiliate took upon themselves to market for an operator as they're supposed to, but in ways that fell outside of an acceptable code there, as set by the Advertising Standards Authority, and that gets not only the affiliate in trouble, but the operator in trouble. So affiliates need to be aware and educated on these things as well.
Absolutely. I think it's a shared responsibility of everybody in the ecosystem, and I should mention that while our responsible marketing code, is it certainly involves our members, we believe that it extends to the entire ecosystem, and so I would encourage affiliates to familiarize with themselves with the tenets of our code, as they could be we could receive some complaints for some of the activity that they do. It's also important for them to balance trying to acquire new customers and drive new traffic with some of the responsible gaming messaging that certainly our members are incorporating in a lot of the advertising that they're doing out there right now. And I think that's another kind of important overarching point about in the whole advertising discussion is that people who want to shut down advertising, I think it's short-sighted because all of our members include responsible gaming messaging, mechanisms to help those who need help with problem gambling through helplines and other tools. And so there is a balance certainly in that, and I think that having the balanced approach is much better than swinging the pendulum to zero advertising or severe restrictions on advertising.
I agree completely. Mr. Cylke, thank you for coming on, for taking time away from your alter ego as Jason Bourne and coming out here and filming with us. Don't hurt me, please.
It's a pleasure, and I'll save my moves for once we're off camera.
We're all very thankful.